Yes, look at it. We are on the cusp of the draft. We are on the edge. We're on a knife edge here, guys. Yeah, it is Thursday.
Rub it in, Paul.
yeah. Paul has slept. So look at him. He's even smiling. Look at that. He's a cheeky devil. He's a cheeky devil.
What, Jamie?
I said, it says, I'm extremely jealous because I've just realised what jersey you've got on. We're taking into the show, and I already want to headbutt you.
But of course,
Andy's got the draft cap on that we're all waiting for because NFL UK can't get their arses in gear and get them sent across.
International shipping, Lord. International shipping, mate.
Yep.
You could have said I could have got some for you.
Do you know, like, we didn't find out until you were in like the second week of your holiday, and by that time it was too late.
I was in Houston by then.
I know, and we was calling, and you were going, "Sorry, we have a problem." Yes, I did it.
Oh God! See, I'm telling you, mate. If that's the way you're going to be through the draft show, I'm going to end up strangling you. I really am.
It depends. It depends how much the delirium kicks in, mate.
You know, like what we're now at, let's call it 9 o'clock. So we're not even 13 hours or 14 hours into a 25-hour show. Matt's pulling the funnies already. You know what I mean?
Can we please never mention 24 hours ever again?
Old habits die hard.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
No, it was cool at the time, but I think I lost more in my hairline than I ever did in the past 10 years.
Your hairline went down to your beard line.
Yeah.
You didn't lose as much hairline as you normally do when you're missing flights and getting delayed flights and all that.
Yeah. Honestly, I might as well start calling myself Patches O'Houlihan.
Just the luck of the Irish. Hey there, sport. But yeah, we are doing a pre-draft show. So what we have decided to do is a call-in show. We're going to get a load of people on throughout tonight's show who are followers of either the page, YouTube, whatever you want to call it.
Long-time members of the UK Cowboys fans, etc. So it's great. Like, we can actually bring guys in and stuff like that who we've known for a long time in the group and just get interact with them and get their thoughts on the upcoming draft.
So that's what it's all about. It's all about the draft. So we got our first guy in already. So we're going to bring them in spurts, and Jamie is in control. So if anything goes wrong, guys, with people not coming in at the right time, blame the Godfather.
This guy's fault.
It is the Godfather's fault.
On
the day of the draft. So let's bring our first calling in, and we have the great John Nelson with us. How are we, sir?
I'm actually, you worried me already when you said Jamie's in control. That's not a good start for 24 hours.
No. It's like already falling apart.
All in charge of the bar, really, isn't it? It's not a good start.
Yeah. But it's good to see you, John. How you doing?
Superb. Really, really good. Thank you. Looking forward to this draft. I don't even know which way it's going to go. It's just so normally that it's straightforward. You think they've covered all the bases, BPA, let's go for it. But this year there's so many holes, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more favorite consensus is if it's not an offensive lineman, then a lot of people are going to raise question marks. But then again, we just know like what Jerry Jones is like. There's been rumors of wide receiver and other positions. We're like, oh God, here we go again. You know,
and it's equally that silly season, isn't it? It's where they throw chum in the water to try and divert people and all that. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Mental warfare.
Concerning news is obviously the LSU receiver dropping down in the draft because there's potential medical issues and all that. So again, you know, he's got an upside that if you're going to take him, you know, it's worth the pick. But you know, especially at the late round of the first or whatever. But yeah, we don't really have the luxury. We have so many people that we actually need to draft to fill holes this year that I really don't want us taking a wide receiver with the first pick.
Wide receiver with injuries.
Or whatever.
wide receivers with injuries as well.
Yeah,
I think the other thing is, do we want someone with injury histories again?
Yeah.
Well, linebacker as well. You got Peyton Willis or Peyton Wilson who keeps getting linked to us as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, like the only thing I will say is that the injury talk, when it comes to this side of the draft now, when you're this close, I tend to say that any news that comes out, whether it's good or bad, is usually coming from the agent of that prospect. So, and it's being said for some sort of reason, whatever it is. So, like with Jax Powers-Johnson, you've got the stuff with Brian Thomas. I know Tavondre Sweat is slightly different, but there's the same thing there. That's a little bit different, mine. But when it comes out at this end, I usually tend to feel that this is more of an agent narrative that's coming out as opposed to a player.
I want to mention something. I don't know if any of you guys saw the Can fans draft, like their mock draft last night. So basically, I quite like what they did, but they were really debating the first round pick. And AJ, being AJ, I love him to bits. He's a big Peyton Wilson fan. And he was thinking going first round Peyton Wilson. And the reason I'm saying no, right? Obviously, he's 24 years of age, right? And would you really want to give the option of a 5th year like option to a guy that potential? Whereas, and that's them trading back to 29 for something like that. They did a trade with Detroit, and the offensive lineman was like Zach Frazier. To me, that would make more sense, because if you want to give a 5th option to someone, give it to an offensive lineman. At least you're there safely with that. Whereas, like when it comes to injured players with history and stuff like that, you just don't know. Is it really worth the hassle? Select them
It's a double-edged sword.
It really is. Yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah.
If you do that with linebacker, then I'd be more willing to do it to Edge and Cooper. And I know a lot of people don't think he's a first rounder, but if you were going to go linebacker, he would be the one, like I say, for that whole fifth year option.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, let's go one step further again. I think even just drafting a linebacker, it's the same as the running back. They're sort of a mirror image of each other in this terms, that I'm not really up for taking them in the first round with the 5th year option anyway. Because I just think that you're gonna that if you ever look at the history of a running back, and it's the same with the linebackers too, that the most productive part of their career is always during their rookie contract. After that, things tail off. It's the volatility of the position.
Yeah.
So I just think it's not a smart way to go. But here we go. We got John on. We're gassing on you. We've got our first call in. So come on then, John. Give it to us. Let's start off with the first round. Who's the guy for you?
Dream guy, realistic guy. Dream guy. Sounds horrible, that. Sounds like some sort of fancy. So
you got in this
dream pick. Let's say dream pick. Let's make it a bit more.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Graham Barton. I'd love to get Barton.
Yes.
I think he is multifaceted, could do several of the positions on the line. Yep. The line at the moment, I see you've got TJ Bass, more likely to be a guard, but could play centre. I'm sure about that. But definitely Barton, he can fit in there. You can then work out who's best at left tackle. That would be my ideal pick. Whether he gets there is another matter. I think that's the big thing. So he's got nastiness to him, which I like. I love a lineman who doesn't really take anything from other people, and he'll put the defensive half the same way Frederick used to do.
No, I mean that's a safe pick. The good thing with Barton as well, I think, and I've said this many times, is because there's so much versatility there. You can draft Barton and kind of just forget about what you want to do in terms of the offensive line right now during the draft. So you just draft him and you can be like, right, let's decide once we get a little bit further down the line what we're going to do. Is Barton going to be center? Is he going to be guard? Are we going to push Smith out to tackle? Do we keep him there? There's so much you can do there. You can shuffle it about, and it's more of a fire and forget. Plus, it gives you a little bit of freedom when it comes to day 2. So if you take Barton and you feel like double dipping on the offensive line and you say, oh, let's go offensive tackle. Tackle is deep. so you can sort of decide where you're going to go from there. But that's what I quite like. But give me your day 2 guy. Who's your day 2 guy?
Day 2, I would go with Brooks from Texas. If we could, again, Brooks, Trayvon, Trayvon, or it's a Trey Brown, is it? From the running back from
Trey Benson.
Yeah, sorry, go well done. I think either of them. I think we need a running back. We've got no starting running back realistically currently. I think both of those could do the full 3 down setup as we've got it. I think they're both. I mean, the injury is an issue with Brooks, but if that checks out okay, Dr. Cooper did the actual surgery, so they will know. They'll have the best knowledge of whether or not he will, how well the injury is going to be taken, when his recovery is likely to hit. We've got a fantastic, actually, physio team in Dallas, so we know we're getting back really quickly. But to me, it's Brooks, maybe Benson if Brooks isn't there. Interesting one last night. You were saying about bizarre things. There was Bucky Brooks mentioned last night that Dallas may go for a quarterback. Really throw it out in the first round, and I think I checked out then, to be honest.
I mean, Bucky Brooks has got to say things to make sure he keeps engagement. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, he says it to keep himself more relevant. That's it.
You got to remember how things go with narratives in the Dallas Cowboys. As soon as you do it throws a whole thing in. So here's one for you, and then we'll get a couple more questions and let you get out of here, mate. What would be a nightmare scenario for you in day 1 tonight?
We can't trade back if there's no one there, and then you're left with pretty much the choices of, or if a really good receiver dropped, a really good receiver got into us, I think then we know how Jerry loves the shiny toys. So I would be worried if there was a skill player that dropped that was meant to go a lot higher. We've seen it a few times over the years where it's like, we're going to take this player or that player. Johnny Manziel was a well-known one, but it certainly puts that view in Jerry's eyes. He wants that skill player, and bear in mind, CD's going into contract year. If a receiver dropped, that would worry me,
especially with Michael Gallup, who's gone as well.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is as well, if we trade out or trade down because of no value there. If you haven't got a trade partner, that's the only thing that worries me. But realistically, I think there's going to be a player in our range. We've got enough holes to say it's a position of need anyway, so I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to draft a wide receiver. I feel in this is right. They have to, because I mean, as long as the wide receiver they drafted is better than Jalen Tolbert, effectively, is what they're going to be looking at. But all right, here's a final question for you, mate. This is one we're going to ask everybody. How did you become a Cowboys fan?
There we go.
Long story. 1978, probably before a lot of you were born or knocking around. Started watching the Armed Forces radio in room, and it was a Dallas Cowboy game versus Washington, and Dallas won, and that was it. Started following them then. And then Dallas was on the TV, obviously the 80s, football came on, loved it from there on. Managed to go to Texas Stadium in 17-18, saw a game over there, met Tom Landry, it was outstanding. And, ever since it's just been phenomenal. I've not been to AT&T yet, it's on my bucket list. So my wife allows me to do it. But
2025, Thanksgiving.
Oh, don't tease. We've got to move house. My wife might not let me do that one, but there we go.
Well, if you want, we can try and put in a good word for you, mate. I mean, we can't make any promises.
Well, she won't obviously know about this because it's not really been broadcast, is it?
But
no, I know it is. I know it is. She's watching it in the other room. Don't worry about it. Can't get away from it.
But no, anybody got a final question for John before we let him get out and we bring in the next one?
What's your plans for tonight? Let's find out what everyone's plans are. You're staying up. You're gonna try turn the notifications up and watch it tomorrow.
I've got a bit of both. Mrs. isn't too well tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But probably going to stay up at least for the first hour or so, see how things are going. it's one of those where you could stay up right through the draft and then find out they trade right back out of the second round, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
which could happen. But yeah, watch most of it, and then if I'm really suffering, I'll crash out. But I'll probably try and listen to yourselves to see how you guys are getting on at sort of like 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
All you need to check, John, is check how bad our eyes are. That's it.
It's after day 3, that isn't it? Really suffering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got another fellow.
GXO.
Yeah. So
he's
been in there too.
I remember the old AFRTS, and you spend 20 minutes getting to a good signal, and then you've got to flip the dial again. So
yeah. Lots of fun.
It's good that we've got somebody. I'm bowing down in seniority to John here, so he's here before I got involved. So.
All right, John. Well, we'll let you get to it, brother. So if you can have your caffeine fix, we'll go let you do that. But thank you very much for joining us. You were always the first guy to come in.
Thank you, gents. Have a lovely night. Look at yourselves. Thank you.
No worries, brother. Stay safe.
All the best, John.
All the best. Cheers.
Nice one.
Cheers.
Here we go. And there we have it. We move from one, and we've got another one waiting in the wind. So we will bring in
Mr. Mark White.
Yeah, Mr.
Welcome.
Mark White. He's been waiting in the wind.
Everyone. How you doing?
Not bad,
Very well.
brother.
Good. I was just listening there earlier to AFRTS Parade of Sports, and I always remember a Monday night football game. I've got a Walkman with a radio on it. I've got to move it around to try and get a signal. It went into overtime, and then an opera singer came on, and I missed the end of it. So I had to, and this was the days before the internet, so it was all. I had to. In fact, I phoned up ABC because I was living in London at the time, and I phoned up their desk and just said, "Who won last night?" And of course, it was us. But, yeah.
They did give you the answer, did they?
Oh yeah, they told me it was ABC Monday Night Football there.
Nice.
In those days.
Do you know what? Before we get into the draft talk with Mark, I think we need to talk about 2014. Because Mark, I won't go into much, but Mark is very well known in the Cowboys circle. If I'm right, Mark, he was ended up into the papers over here, didn't it? But we'll let you take over and tell them why.
So 2014, 10 years ago. We can't believe it was 10 years ago last time.
I know.
And so on a whim, I got in the car. I live in the northwest of England now, and got in the car, took a day off work, drove down to where Saracens were playing, and I knew that the Cowboys were training there. Went down there, stood out in the freezing cold, got surrounded by security. They wouldn't let me anywhere near it. Got interviewed by the Fort Worth Star Telegram, and the headline was Britain's biggest Cowboys fan, and I've been living off that for the last 10 years. And then Mickey Spagnola walked past, and I had a 77 jersey on, and so he said, "Oh, Eugene Lockhart," and I went, "No, Tyron Smith." And so anyway, at the end, everyone's coming out of the locker room, getting on the buses to go, apart from one player, and that's Tyron Smith. And he comes down. Comes down with Mickey Spagnola. They point at me, and then he comes over. It must be like looking in a mirror for him because, what was he, about 6'8" exactly?
Yeah. But, hands like shovels.
So we had a chat. We shook hands. He signed my jersey, and then he got on the bus, and then Dave Luffenberg, Mickey Spagnola, all the rest of them, they're asking me questions and filming and doing everything else. So and then got home buzzing. My wife saying, "How's your day?" I said, "Oh my God, best day ever."
That's fantastic, mate. Fantastic.
Love it.
But back in '93, when they came over to play Detroit, my daughter was with me then, so I went off to see the Cowboys. Unbeknownst to me, she gets pulled out to pose with and she was only 3 years old, to pose with one of the Lions offensive linemen. So that was in all the national papers over here, and then they said, "Oh, so the Cowboys offensive line is standing in front of her," and they're going, run between their legs, go and run between their legs. And she's going, no. Oh my God, like, can't you just try to push her into it? And,
just once, like, just do as you're told.
I should have known then she wasn't going to be a Cowboys fan. She's a Seahawks fan. So you can't have everything.
Outstanding.
Yeah, you can't get everything right, mate. You can't get everything right.
No. I should have checked with the hospital or something.
Like cracking like a stick of rock. Oh, it's black and yellow. No. But all right, let's get your questions on some of the draft then. Who's the number one guy for you for tonight in day one that you would want to see the Cowboys pick?
I think you have to go centre.
Okay.
We can move players around at tackle and guard over the left side, but centre is an absolute must. And I think the only way we come down in the draft is if the centre's not there that we want. Other than that, so I would probably say Barton, Frazier, either of those two. But and I think that's pretty much what most people think anyway.
Yeah. Most are high on Barton.
Yeah, I think other than that, you maybe take what you can. You can get a few extra picks further on down. That'd help. But yeah, I think you need a centre. Absolutely need a centre.
I think I'm going to start with a tally of everybody that's coming on and saying they want Fraser because he's my pet cat. So like we'll have to get something into Jerry now and be like, Jerry, take back, get that centre in.
I think it's a must, absolute must position.
Yeah, I think that's the only time I would actually use the term all in or a centre.
Yeah.
Because I think that term's just driving the fan base crazy right now. But
is it the latest one? We're waiting for the leaves to fall or something. I don't even know what that.
The leaves to drop. Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, I'll give Jane Slater her credit. She pushed Jerry's buttons the other day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
and I may have just like helped along with that with my poem that she retweeted today. Yeah, so that's probably not helped either. But okay, who's the second round guy for you, Mark?
I'm a big believer that the defense feeds off the spine of the defense. So the defensive tackle position, the Mike linebacker, the safeties, if they're strong, then the guys outside, your Parsons and your Tanks, and those guys, they can do what they do very, very well. And so I really think that our problem has been, especially, I wouldn't even say the Dan Quinn years, because I'd say probably before that, we can't stop the run. So absolutely, we need someone in there. And I don't care whether it's defensive tackle or middle linebacker. We need someone in there who can stop the run because it's been our Achilles heel for years.
That is true, definitely. So what would be a nightmare scenario for you tonight?
Quarterback.
That is controversial.
I think, and I think that obviously the offensive tackle position is draft heavy, especially in that first round, and it just depends how they fall because it could well be that the guys that we're after they go early on, or it could be that they drop down. There's always someone who sits there with all his suit on at the table and absolutely plummets. And then the cameras are on him all the time. He's sweating because no one's picked him up. Everyone's expecting him to go in the top 10, 15. I think for me, it would be everyone that we're after is gone and we're getting no value. We're given either going to drop out and pick up a couple of second, third round picks or something. But that would be bad news. I think if we didn't get at least one of the guys we've got on our board. But you know what Jerry's like, and I think you said earlier that he's a bit of a magpie. Anyone shiny that's turning up. That would be the other thing, that if he goes rogue and just starts picking up players he fancies. But I think they have quite a tight rein on him now in that draft room. So in the war room,
you would like to think so.
Just because Mark mentioned quarterback, and we I know I've been banging on about it for the last God knows how many months. Let's play. Just appease me here. And for out to Ollie, just appease me, and let's just play devil's advocate a little bit. So we obviously don't we don't want to take a quarterback, but Jerry gets on the blower.
Yeah.
We know Caleb Williams isn't going to be there. Caleb Williams is on, but Jerry gets on the blower and goes, right, we'll give up. Let's just throw a first this year, a first next year, and we throw Dak in there. If they're going to go up and get a quarterback, which quarterback would you want them to go?
Well, if they're going to throw Dak in and a load of first-round picks, you can only go with Caleb Wilson. Is that right?
Yeah.
Have I picked the right one?
Yeah.
Williams,
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
Williams,
One
yeah.
pick. If you're going to go all in, then you've got to go in as high as you can.
I love the.
It's really no good just pussyfooting around. If you're going to throw Dak in and some first-round picks, you've got to go top of the shop. But I'm sure
that trade
field and delivered. So
yeah. I mean, like the trade chart when you look at it to go from 24 to 1, you're literally giving up the next until Jerry retires.
That's
really,
like the old Jerry Granville days at Atlanta, when you just give up everything.
Yeah, just take everything. Yeah.
I'm going to shut down social media. I'm going to hiding.
Yeah.
Don't let it happen.
He's a crazy one. Oh, go on, Mark. Go on. No. This is your time. Your time. I can talk about this.
I would use another one.
Yeah. But I mean, like, talking of trade, what's a crazy one I've seen tonight is the Rams are looking to trade up into the top 10, which is just wild. Because if they do that, they'll have to give up multiple picks this year and first next year, which is just like, you've just got all your first round picks back. You're about to ship them all back off again. You haven't had a first round pick since 2015. My son wasn't even born then.
Yeah, I know.
Wild. But all right, then I'll give you one more question, and if the boys got any more, we'll let you get out of here and bring the next one in. But finally, I asked the question before, so I'm going to ask it again. How did you become a Cowboys fan?
I'm one of those the 1982 generation. Saw it on Channel 4. There's loads of us about. So my mum was a big fan of the show Dallas, and the first game I saw on Channel 4 was Dallas. So end zone. And then they had two players with the same surname as me. So Danny White, who was my first quarterback, and you never forget your first quarterback, and Randy White. So same surname. My mum liked the TV show. Next minute, and that's it. And that's a lot of seasons ago now. 43 seasons.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the TV show Dallas there, Mark, because that's one of the reasons I got into it, because my mum watched the TV show, and the other one of the other reasons was back with the NFL Europe, there was the Scottish Claymores. Their uniforms were very similar in terms of colour scheme to the Dallas Cowboys, and obviously when watching Channel 4, it was always Emmitt Smith. So that's how I really drew and fell in love with Dallas because of that. But it's crazy. Like, you're not. I thought I was one of the only people here in the UK.
There's loads of us.
Well, again, before obviously UK Cowboys came into existence, there used to be a fanzine in the late 90s called Barry Switzer Ain't My Hamster Too.
Yeah.
And we used to do a meet the Muncher, and that was the first question was how did you get into the Cowboys and all that, and 9 times out of 10 somebody would say it was the opening credits to Dallas and it was the flyover of Texas Stadium, and then obviously you've got new ones that have come in with the sort of reboot that happened in the late 2010s or whatever, and you had that going over AT&T Stadium as well. So it is iconic. It probably is for a lot of people in the UK.
Yeah, I think if you follow the early series, the Combine Harvester went past, and then the next thing was the hole in the roof at Texas Stadium, and the end zone, and that was it. Then you hooked.
Anybody got any last questions for Mark before we let him get off and bring the next one in?
Yeah, I think the same thing actually on. What's plans tonight? Are you watching it? You're going to tune in tomorrow?
Unfortunately, I've got work in the morning, so if
So-
it's regular
Yay.
season,
so do I.
regular season's different, isn't it? You know, and but I'll keep tabs on it as much as I can, especially if I'm not sure that they're going to actually pick at 24.
No.
But you guys, you'll have a great night, and I think the show starts on Sky, doesn't it? About 10:10 or something, 10:15.
Yeah.
And the actual draft is 1 a.m. So
That's correct. Yeah. So,
so,
and then you're looking at about 4 or 5 hours for the draft. So it'll be done by about 5 o'clock-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's like loads of stuff to be done to get ready for day 2. Yay.
Yeah. But no, you guys do a great job every year, and a great job during the season as well. So it was nice to come on, and if ever you're short, give me a shout, and I'll come.
Of course, Mark.
Of course, man.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Yep. I mean, we'll do these again. We'll do these shout-ins for everybody in another show for definite.
Awesome.
Beautiful. But thank you very much, mate. We'll let you go, and we'll bring the next guy in. Have a nice draft. Stay safe, brother.
Fantastic.
Right, yeah. And now we got the next one waiting in the wind. It's from one to the other.
Oh, there he is.
Yes.
Mr. Valenti, what's happening?
All right, mate. All right, lads. You all right?
Good, mate. Good.
Now, you may, if you've watched the show, you may see the name cropping up on you sometimes, Andrew Valenti. So now you put in a name to the you put in a face to the name badge. But how you doing?
All right, mate. Just fresh from a nice run on Sunday, London Marathon. So I'm back to normal again.
Congrats, man. Nice. How did you get on?
Yeah, 4 hours, 39 minutes, 34 seconds.
Wow.
Man, it'll probably take me. I'm not gonna lie. It'll probably take me about 40 hours to do it. But
Have you moved up to Stoke yet? Or are you still there from Sunday?
No, I'm back home now. Yeah.
oh, bro,
Nice. So let's get into some draft questions with you then, right? This
Well,
may be controversial, I feel, but who's going to be the guy for you in the first round? Who would be the
Graham
guy
Barton. Graham Barton.
That's a second. Yeah, he's coming up quite a lot.
I think that's 3 in a row now. We've had Graham Barton now.
Yeah. Or at least centre.
Yeah.
Yes, someone on the O-line, I think.
Yeah. So, do you think so? If they were to take Graham Barton, do you think that would be it for them in terms of drafting an offensive lineman in this year's draft, or do you think that gives them free reign into day 3 to look at offensive tackle, which is a little deeper?
I think there's more needs for us elsewhere on the defense as well. Running back. Shall I go running back second round, Trey Benson, if he's still available?
Yeah.
And third round, it could go either way. You could go back to the offense, or you could go defense again, a run stopper.
Okay. So here's one then, and I've asked everybody this one. I'll ask you, what would be a nightmare scenario for you tonight?
Nightmare. Wide receiver, probably.
All right.
Yeah, I thought wide receiver would have been right up there for you.
Yeah. There's no Des out there this year. There's sneak you in there.
Can we just add
Des was
friend
taken
of the
with
show,
24th
Des
pick
Bryant?
as well.
Oh.
Des was taken with the 24th pick as well, if I remember right.
That's right.
Hold on.
Good memory. Craig here. I don't even thought to.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, no, we traded down, didn't we? No, we traded up with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And then we took Des. That's correct. Yeah. Well, here's a little fact for you. I don't know if I've said this before, but Des still owns the record for the fastest 10-yard split in the combine.
He does.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Just thought I'd give you that random fact. But all right then. So getting into day 3, I haven't asked this one yet, Andrew, but you're just ripping through these questions, so I'm thinking on the fly. But all right, we're into day 3. Well, right, we haven't got a 4th round pick. Right, our 4th round pick is our QB3. All right, yeah, I know, I get it. I'm not a fan of that, but there we go. who would you want? Let's say, and I'll give you a scenario. So let's go with the guys you've picked. So it gives you your dream scenario that they've gone Graham Barton in the first round. They've gone who did you say? So we got Trey Benson with the
Graham
third
Barton,
round
Trey
pick.
Benson.
Trey Benson and a linebacker, should we say, like Edrin Cooper, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so that's they're your first 3 picks. So who would you want then to be the first guy into day 3 if you could have anybody?
Anybody? D-line probably the best available.
Any best of it? Okay, so you're really hammering home the run stopping.
Yeah, depending on who's left there. Because I think that's one of our problem areas is stopping that run.
Yeah,
we're terrible at it.
Well, I mean, that's putting it lightly. So, all right. And so, lastly, and I'll let the boys ask some questions as well. Then, is how did you become a Cowboys fan?
Well, me and my mate, as a youngster, about 5 years old, we always playing Cowboys and Indians. So he chose the Indians. I chose the Cowboys. It was either Dallas Cowboys or it was just Chicago Bears with a fridge. William Perry. So I went Cowboys, and I've stuck with them ever since.
I mean, everybody has the reasons. They can be as wild as you want, and I mean that's pretty wild, but it works for me.
And it's like I was into it for quite a while, and then I went away from it in the 90s. Well, all the way through the 80s, I was there, and early 90s, and I went away for a bit, and I came back in the early noughties. So
I'm with you. A slight hiatus. That's fine.
Yeah,
everybody's got to have a break, especially when you're a Cowboys fan. That's for sure.
You didn't miss out, mate.
I missed the best years. I missed the best years. Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Anybody got a question for Andrew before we let him go and bring the next person in?
Well, obviously, Jamie's been asking the question to Mark and our first guest as well. What are you doing for the draft?
I'm at home. I'm going to try and stay up I've got work tomorrow, so obviously, but I'm going to try and stay up as long as I can, just in case we trade forward.
Don't say that to me. Don't say that to me, Andrew.
I hope not, but yeah, I'll stay up. If I fall asleep, then I'll wake up on the settee and see where we are.
I like it. All right then, mate. Well, we're going to let you go. You can go get your caffeine if you're going to try and soup up a bit. We'll do this again for definite, and we'll invite you in if you want to come in. But thank you very much for joining us, mate.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on. Cheers, mate. Cheers, man.
No worries, brother. Stay safe.
Have a good one, mate.
Yes, there we go. Out with one, and in with another. There we go. We have Mark with us. How we doing?
Hey, guys. How are we doing? Good evening. Great to see you all. Hey, Jamie. Thanks for the invite, mate. I really appreciate it. Great to come on and talk some Cowboys draft.
I think the guys we wanted to do something like this, so we stuck our heads together, and yeah, fingers crossed it looks right.
Yeah, good fun. Are we all staying up? I'll be up till the end of the draft both nights. Is everyone staying up?
We're here for all.
Yeah, we're here for the long run, my friend. Hence, like me and Lauren and Mike are losing the hair, and I don't know where Jamie's getting this fountain of youth from. So God knows.
To be fair, me and Mike were laughing before you guys came on, but we might, seeing as we're doing it this early, we might as well we're even ready for bed. Like we've got pajamas on, ready for it.
I'm not
Yes.
That's it. So I have a very understanding wife who gets into the draft spirit. So we're having a draft party this evening, and we've got just by complete chance, right? Just like literally 5 doors away from us is a mad Chicago Bears fan. So he's got pick 1 and pick 9. So he's coming over. So we are having a draft night party to cheer on the Bears and the Cowboys. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. So I need to ask then. So what are you doing for the draft in terms of the draft party for food wise? Are you like making wings or anything like that?
Yeah, it's all sorted. So we're going to be kicking off with cheese on toast just before 1 o'clock.
Standard.
Absolute classic. And then we have an array of kind of like Indian and Chinese like nibble things. So they'll be going they'll be going in the oven. And then we've got like kettle chips, Pringles. There's some cakes. I think that the pot of tea will be on consistently for about the next 3 hours. It's a whole thing.
Just a quick, when you say a pot of tea, what tea are you drinking though? Come on, because it's got to be red tea.
just Builder's tea, but like Yorkshire tea, Builder's tea. There we go. Jamie wants the Leeds connection. I better keep quiet about my Liverpool Football Club passion.
It's all right, because we've got another Leeds fan coming on soon, so it's all
perfect.
All right, so here we go. Let's get your question then. Who is your dream draft scenario for tonight? Who's your guy?
Yeah, so I'll be honest. I think the guy that I had really fallen in love with for us seems to be dropping away from being likely. So I've really been on the Jackson Powers Johnson train for some time. I don't know how much of it is all the draft rumors and lies and smoke and mirrors, but enough people who I kind of trust now after years of watching this, I'm kind of thinking, okay, there's injuries there, there's enough worries. I saw Dane Brugler put a quick comment out a few hours ago saying doesn't think that Jackson Powers Johnson is a fit.
Saw that, yeah.
So look, Graham Barton I think would be a great pick. If we're going to stay at 24, I would be absolutely delighted with Graham Barton. Honestly, I'm probably more on board with one of the top couple of defensive tackles. If they were to get to us, I would really not be. I really would. I would be quite happy doubling down from Mazzy last year. Byron Murphy, of course. Johnny Newton might be exactly in the right spot for us. I really would not say no to either of those. And I'm probably more in on maybe a tackle like Patrick Paul, maybe a tackle like Roger.
The tackle from Houston.
That's exactly. Patrick Paul, I seem to be much higher on him than most. I've got kind of a low 1, early 2. Most people that actually know what they're talking about seem to be talking as a 2-3. But if you give me Patrick Paul and let him develop for a year, and then the center I really love is Tano Bortolini. Now, I think if you're looking at like a 3rd or 4th round center, again, I'd be happy there. But if it's I guess I'm saying it's the trenches, right? For me, offensive line, defensive line. Let's really get back to being a strong team, able to run the ball and able to stop the run. I mean, to me, that would be a great draft.
See, this is the thing.
Sorry, I don't, pal.
No, well, I was going to say, I mean, for all these media scouts that are about and putting people round 1, round 3, whatever. When the coaches get involved and the coaches are going to pro days and coaching some of these guys up, they'll have a better idea of what these guys can do and how acceptable they are to changing techniques and what have you. So that then changes it. And I think you have seen a real sort of deviation in the last couple of years from, what the media scouts say are surefire first-round picks. And, you only have to see what Dallas do, where they took Travis Frederick and, everybody said that was a reach. And then Tyler Smith, you thought, even we weren't truly on board with Tyler Smith, and he's turned out to be, is he going to be a tackle this year? Because he was an alternate for the Pro Bowl in his rookie year. He was a Pro Bowl last year and All-Pro, second team All-Pro at guard last year. So what do you do with him? So
I'll do you one. I'll do you another one as well, Lauren. Remember, was it last? I think, in fact, it may have been last season actually. Who was the guy I kept talking about? I think he's going to hit the first round. Mr. Cole Strange that went to the New England Patriots. Everyone said, "Oh yeah, he's a 3rd rounder, 4th rounder, etc." I was like, today I've not actually watched the film on the guy back in college when he was at Chattanooga, but it just shows. It just shows it's like the media are just eating up, like taking word for word onto each other without watching the film.
There's two players that I would be kind of happy to put a little wager on, maybe making it into the first round. That everyone, everyone that knows what I'm talking about is saying second. So the production from Lad McConkey, the wide receiver, to me is just off the charts. Now I've actually got him as my wide receiver number 4. I've got him ahead of Brian Thomas. I've got him ahead of Xavier Worthy, ahead of Jalen Polk, ahead of all of those guys, Ricky Purcell. I love the production that he's put up. Really nice player. And on the defensive side, Mike Sainristil, the Michigan corner. Now, he's getting knocked down a bit. I think he's not quite 5'10". If his production, right, if he was a 5'11", 6-foot cornerback, people will be talking about him guaranteed first round. So I wonder if those two, Lad McConkey and Mike Sainristil, can maybe make it into the first round somehow. I'd certainly be. I'm not particularly on the wide receiver train for the Dallas Cowboys. I know it's a bit of a kind of a sneaky need. We need to think about it, but I'm certainly thinking that this is a deep enough wide receiver draft that we can look at that in the 4th round, 5th round, 6th round.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
Hey, wow, if Lad McConkey was there at 24, I think he will be. But that would give me pulls.
All right, then. Well, give you the last question so we can bring in our final guest. How did you become a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, easy. 1983, I turned on Channel 4 at the age of 10 and found a Cowboys game, and I fell in love with them. I literally fell in love with them. Can't describe it. I was transfixed, hooked there and then. And I've been a lifelong fan ever since. And back in 2011, my wife and I moved to Canada, which gave me way more exposure to kind of the NFL, all the coverage that you get. That was where I really found the draft and started getting into all the draft stuff. So we were there 5 years and had an amazing time. We kind of went on some road trips and went and saw the Cowboys quite a bit. We were at Giant Stadium for the Odell Beckham one-handed catch game.
Oh wow!
I mean, give him his credit, right? I've been to a lot of sporting events, as you guys all have, I'm sure. That is the single most impressive sporting thing I've ever seen in my life when Beckham made that catch, and we still went on to win the game. So, yeah, love it, loved it since I was 10. I've just turned 50, so 40-year love affair with the Dallas Cowboys just because I found them on Channel 4 one day.
Thank you, Channel 4.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You guys are all the same, I guess, somehow.
Yeah, especially during the 90s, Channel 4 was the bomb. Like I was saying to Valenti and our previous guest Mark, like he mentioned watching the TV show Dallas, etc. Like for me, it was like Channel 4, seeing Emmitt Smith, the way how he run, and for me, and obviously with the NFL Europe, there was a like uniform association kind of similarity with the Cowboys, and that's how I kind of fell in love with that. So it's just, yeah, it's like everyone has their own unique way of this. Oh yeah, and that's right. Quine Miners, that's another guy I forgot about.
Yeah, that was another guy.
I'm still mad about that pick.
There we go.
Screw Denver.
You was all like the TV show to get you into it. Mine just randomly fell on it somehow. It was like really weird, man. My mum and dad had a documentary on. So when you sat watching a documentary on a Sunday afternoon, it was about 2 Siamese twins being taken to a Cowboys game for charity. I was like, oh, what's this? And it was when they played at Texas Stadium. I was like, this looks pretty cool. And ever since, I was like,
yeah,
Cowboys. The first thing I'd always check on a Monday morning going to college. I was like, yeah. So mine's not. I was like, it's intriguing. Like it was just something very random that was on a Sunday afternoon.
Just grabs your attention and kind of brings you in. Yeah. I know. So this is I'm sure you guys feel the same, but this next 3 days is my Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day all kind of just rolled into one.
It's definitely Lauren's, that's for sure.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I enjoy, Lauren. I don't know about you. I enjoy these 3 days of the draft. I enjoy more than I enjoy some of the games. I mean, I'll watch every single game, love it, but this 3 days for me, it's just the best moment in the calendar, really.
Yeah, and I think because it has been so quiet this off season that this has put more pressure onto this, so that you're more focused on it. So they've kind of put that on themselves, right? I think.
Yeah, definitely. But thank you very much for coming on, mate. We will do this again, and we'll put the word out and see who wants to come on.
All right, enjoyed it. Have a great evening, guys.
You too.
Enjoy the beans and toast.
Awesome. All right. And now we're going across the water.
Yes,
We're in Ireland. We're in Ireland.
How are you, gents? How things?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
It's good to see you again, my friend.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. I think I was in my mid-20s the last time I seen you. I'm nearly my mid-30s now.
I know, frankly, because we just randomly bumped into each other back at the Cowboys versus Eagles game back in 2017.
2017, yeah, 2017.
7 years ago, jeez.
No, it's been a long time. It's been a very long time, but
yeah. Do you still remember the bottle of Buckfast I bought?
Yeah, no, actually, I don't think I actually tasted the Buckfast that night. I had some here, don't worry, but I don't think I had some that day. But everyone that you did give the Buckfast to left very happy anyway. They,
yeah, absolutely.
Stumbled their way into the stadium, they did.
Oh, but that was a good time. But how you been anyway? You doing all right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, not too bad. I just had a baby a couple of months ago now, so it's a little
congratulations,
bit of a different life for me now. So, you remember Fiona Paul from the time?
Yes.
So, thankfully, she still allows me to do these things like the draft and watch all the games and stuff. So, nothing has changed in that regard. So, I'm still going to be up till 5 o'clock in the morning. Except this time, it will probably just be doing baby feeds, etc. So.
Well, there you go. You've got another excuse to be up, and when I had my son, that was how I was watching half the late night games as well. I'll get up and give the feed and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You tick 2 boxes that way, mate.
Yeah, I'll be changing my schedule every Sunday for some random reason that I need to suddenly do baby feeds at 5:30 in the morning.
But yeah, must be the only Cowboys fan this side from America that prays for a 1 o'clock in the morning kickoff. Then.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I've been struggling a lot, but actually, I changed my schedule and work. They offered me to do a Tuesday to Saturday shift so that I'd be off every Monday, and I jumped on it. I was like, yeah, no problem. They were so surprised that I jumped on it, but it made more sense for me from September until January. Hopefully one day February. It made sense for me. So thankfully, I have that opportunity to be able to relax and not have to worry about getting up at 7 a.m. after a 5:30 defeat loss in some instances. So
the main question then is, has little one got anything Cowboys related yet then?
For the baby? Yeah. So one of my friends' moms actually knitted him a jumper which has the big Dallas star on it, the Cowboy star.
Brilliant.
But also I was in the NFL headquarters when I was in New York, and one of the guys who works there gave me like a little teddy, Cowboys teddy. So that was our first official one. And then obviously I've added on a few extra things as well. So yeah, lots of little things hanging around his room. So unfortunately, he will be forced into this world whether he likes it or not.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. And if not, just that, then at that point, you could just disown them.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. He has to be a Leeds fan, as Jamie is fully aware of, being a Leeds fan. He has to be a Leeds fan, and he has to be a Cowboys fan. And Paul will be happy to know he has to be a Celtic fan too. So
yes,
sorry,
Lauren. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know that was your persuasion, Lauren. Sorry. But,
no. I've got no affiliation.
I was only messing. So. It's not only Graham I'm messing. I'm just using Lauren as a scapegoat, because not only Graham is the guy I absolutely take the mickey for when it comes to the old firm games. So.
Yeah, I think I might have seen you a couple of weeks ago, Jamie, in Elland Road. I think you were in the cheese wedge. Sorry, just to put context, the cheese wedge is a stand in Elland Road. I don't know if you were sitting in the cheese wedge for the Blackburn game a couple of weeks ago. I thought I seen you. Maybe
I've managed to get season tickets from this year, so I'll be in there. If you're not in there, give us a shout before. I'll meet you for a pint before the game.
Yeah, sound, yeah. Well, I might see it in a couple of weeks' time, depending on how things fall for these. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Cowboys.
So, yeah. Here we go. Here's the question. What is the dream scenario or prospect to get drafted for tonight in round 1 for you?
My dream is to not pick tonight at all. I'm team trade down.
Yeah.
So I could hear a couple of the guys beforehand talking about Graham Barton, and I can get on board with that. I can get on board with I know JPJ has dropped on a lot of people's estimations. I can get on board with him. Tyler Guyton seems to be a big name that's flying around at the minute.
Yeah.
He seems to be like, I think it was Jane Slater said earlier on that he looks like he's their person at 24. I'd like to go down and, if it's at pick 27, 28, or even with the Chiefs at 32, but I'd even go down further again and just keep on building draft capital, because we don't have it. We gave up that fourth for Trey Lance, which still baffles me to this day. I don't understand what the reason behind that was. But
agree.
If we can get, I believe Washington are actually looking to trade back into the first round. And the rumor was that potentially Washington would give us 36 and 74, I think it was, which will give us 4 picks inside the top 100. That's where I am kind of hoping for. And with that, if we do get 36, I think we might get Zach Frazier at 36. I think he might go as far as that. So you're getting your center, you're getting your need, but you're adding the picks that we don't have at the moment. So we have lots of needs. Everyone knows the gaps that we have: running back, linebacker, defensive tackle, you name it. Even maybe wide receiver, but we need more picks. So my plan tonight is to record it and get up in the morning to watch it. But I'm hoping that I don't see us pick at all. That's my dream.
This conversation is really good, because you sit there, don't you, and we do all these shows and we talk about things like that, and you sit there and sometimes you get in like a little bubble, don't you? You sit there and go, right, we're dead set on being at 24, but then listen to people's opinions and saying things like this, and then you listen to the Cowboys stuff that they do, and it gets you thinking outside the box, doesn't it? And thinking, even the mock draft we did the other night, and it worked out so well dropping out of the first, even though we'd lose that 5th year option. I mean, actually to do that, we can actually pick up a lot more starters and a lot more quality than stuck in maybe 3 or 4 picks.
Yep,
100%. Yeah, I think you can start to address then the running back situation. There's lots of I know Jonathan Brooks is a name that is very heavily favored to be one of the Cowboys. I seen another report saying that the Cowboys are afraid that the Eagles might actually jump them to take Jonathan Brooks in the mid-50s, which wouldn't really make sense to me because they have Barkley already. But I suppose with their
that's a weird one for me. We just never know what the Eagles are going to do. It wouldn't surprise me if they win Georgia again. Who knows?
Yeah. just change their name to the Philadelphia Bulldogs,
Yeah, they might as well.
Yeah. All right. So here's another one for you, Steve. What would be a nightmare scenario for you tonight?
I think I know the answer to this.
The nightmare would be picking someone tonight. There is, and I have nothing against this player at all, but there's talks of Amarius Mims dropping down a little bit. But my worry with him is he's been a right tackle. He's always been a right tackle, and they said that he has the flexibility to move to left tackle. But we already have so many people who are moving pieces. If you can guess who the starting 5 are going to be on that offensive line at the start of the season, I'll buy you a drink, because it could be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Chuma Edoga playing left tackle, if it's Tyler Smith, Asim Richards, you name it. There's so many people who can start to move and do different pieces. TJ Bass could even be the center, and then Tyler Smith is staying guard. There's so many different options that they have. I don't want to put a right tackle in and be an immediate day one starter at left tackle. Terrence Steele has the right tackle job. I know he didn't do fantastic last year, but he's our starter at right tackle. I don't want to take a right tackle as position 1, especially at pick 24.
Yeah. And especially when Mims has actually only started 8 games in the 3 years he's been playing in Georgia, which is really bad. And he was injured last year.
Yep.
I'll be honest. I genuinely thought you were going to say trade up was going to be the worst option.
Who?
Trading up.
Well, trading up would be a disaster. I did actually see another couple of people. It might have been a joke, I don't know, but people talking about the Cowboys moving up for a quarterback. I know there was that whole Las Vegas. I don't know if you've seen it going around the Las Vegas thing. And we'd be taking on Aidan O'Connell and stuff. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry wanted to take or randomly took Michael Penix out of nowhere. Nothing would surprise me anymore with the Cowboys. So that would be a disaster.
We see that's the thing. We've seen it all before.
Yeah.
I think Xavier Worthy is an outside shout as well. I think that he might see a shiny toy in Xavier Worthy and say, "Oh, he ran fast. Let's take him." I do like him, but it's a very Jerry Jones pick. So
the trouble with Worthy is
it's the fit. But he can't stay on the field as well. I mean, there was games last year where because he's only 175 pounds or whatever, he was constantly getting knocked out of games and coming back into games later on and then getting knocked out again. So
it's funny that you mentioned Worthy. Like, so this is my sneaky bet for this year's draft. What team in the NFL loves speed?
The Chiefs and the Dolphins.
The Raiders
first round draft picks,
yeah. I can see them going for Worthy. I really can. So that's my pet cat pick in terms of what the Raiders are going to do. I think they're going to go for Worthy. I think
he's a Chiefs receiver. I'm telling you, he's going to go to the Chiefs. He's a Tyreek Hill replacement. Perfect.
I'm on board with the Chiefs too.
I know we talked a lot about we were having a bit of a chat before I went online. I taught myself in that the Raiders are going to trade. I think it's the Raiders thing, isn't it? I believe if they stay where they are, maybe taking Worthy and taking it, whatever. I don't know why. I just got the feeling they're going to trade.
Yeah. All right. So here's the last one for you, Steve. So we can get out of here and let you get out of here. How did you become a Cowboys fan?
So there's a Leeds affiliation to this one. So when I was in America in 2001, I'm going to say 2001, we went to the NBA store at Universal Studios in Orlando. So my mom went in and was like, "I'll pick out any NBA top that you want." So the first thing I seen was a Dallas Mavericks top, and I was like, "That's white. Leeds wear white. I'm going to pick that one up." Dirk Nowitzki was on the back of it, so I just associated myself with Dallas. And then it was 2008. I had a rough interest in NFL, not really, but one of my friends in the pub before the Super Bowl, that was the Giants and Patriots, was like, "Who do you support in the NFL?" And I was like, "Oh, Dallas Cowboys." And that from there, I just took an investment straight away because I was like, I'm going to make sure I know everything about the Dallas Cowboys before we have the next conversation. And it was just as random as that. And then ever since then, I've lived to regret it, but I wouldn't change it at all.
Yeah. So, but before you do go, I just want to let our listeners know, it's like, how can people actually follow you on social media? Because obviously you're representing the Irish Cowboys. So let everyone know where they can follow you. Yeah.
So just at Irish Cowboys on Twitter. Most of the majority of the people who follow me on there are from the stateside, or also there's like a big Irish community of NFL fans. So I'm very open to a conversation. So anyone who wants to follow me, please do. I'm good for a follow back as well. Trying to build up the Irish community in the NFL. It's great that the UK Cowboys fans has been so successful for so long. Ideally, in years to come, we'd like to build a group within ourselves. So there's only a couple of us so far, but I'm trying to make as many new NFL fans, Cowboys fans, as much as I can.
There we go.
I like it.
Well, all right, lads. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Stephen, and hopefully next time I'll see you, it's in person back in Dallas. Hopefully.
I hope so.
Who knows? I might actually see you at Ellen Road. Who knows?
You could, come to Ellen Road. I'll be there more than I'll be. But you might catch me in New York, because New York is the perfect segue for me to bring my partner, because she wants to go to New York, and obviously we play there every single year. So
that's true. That's a fair point.
Yeah. If you want to see me, you'll catch me in New York.
All right, mate. Well, enjoy the draft. Enjoy all 3 days, and we'll keep an eye out for you, and we'll do the usual thing, repost and all the rest of it.
Cheers, lads. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
You too, man. All the best.
And there we have it, guys. We are near the end of all of this now. So we will be back, of course. We're back in like 2 hours.
Just over 2 hours,
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 hours' time. Yeah.
So where we will be back for the live day one. So a couple of us will be bouncing in and out. We've got a couple of guests as well who will be bouncing in. So it's a little bit all over the place, as these things are, because it's day one and everybody's all excited. But we will be back. Make sure to join us before we get out of here. Ooh, who's having the honors? I tell you what, it's going to be the Godfather. Jamie, hit us with it.
Yeah, so if you're thinking of going to watch the Cowboys in Big D in 2024, make sure you do so by jumping on with our good friends at Cowboys Experience, who also sponsor the podcast, for stadium tours, tickets, meet and greets, much more. As we've been happening on for weeks and months, we've done it for the group trip last year, but everybody, Paul does it every year. Mike Bull and Dan do it every year. Get out there, Barry and the guys look after you, treat you like royalty. You get to say, you go out there. It's once in a blue moon. Make sure you do it right and do it with these guys. And if you do, use the promo code on screen of UK Cowboys, because what you get, boys, when you use the promo code?
You get free stuff.
Free stuff.
Free stuff. Yeah. Well done, Jamie. You did that. You executed that perfectly. I know whenever you do the advert read, you get a little bit nervous, but I think
4 years to get it right.
we're gonna have to change your name from the Godfather now to the Iceman, because you just nailed it.
I'm trying to say he's not Top Gun Maverick here.
But yes, like I say, we will be back in a couple of hours. Make sure to join us. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You'll find us everywhere. Make sure to come and join us.
I was going to say, if you do, for all our viewers are watching right now, and if you want to interact with the show, be sure you actually watch the stream through YouTube. You can leave a comment, let us know your thoughts about who we're drafting, etc. Because we will pop up comments on while we're streaming, while we're talking about the draft. So if you want to interact with us, come on to the YouTube.
Yeah, and it helps us pass the time when we're talking about 15 minutes a pick.
Yeah, true. That's very true.
I'll wait 4 hours for the Cowboys to trade out of the first.
All right, guys. So let's get out of here. We will not be back after the weekend, as I say, 2 hours. So stay safe for the next 2 hours. Get your caffeine, get your beers, get your drinks, your popcorn, all the rest of it. We will be back then. I had the first word of this show, so these boys are going to give you the last word. See you in a while, folks. Hit it.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yep. Go Cowboys.
Don't say no, man.